Okay. So turning to the topic. When we talk about extrovert people, what does it mean to be extrovert? What does it mean to be extrovert? Which are the characteristics of people who are extrovert? Hmm? Yes, Carla?
I think that is people that wants to be around other people,
Yes, exactly. Are people
and
who,
also the kind of person that is cheerful all the time, maybe.
yes, actually they are. Cecilia Carrasco, please.
Hi, maybe that person have many friends or almost all the time is happy también.
Yes, of course. Extrovert people are always those has always these characteristics, right? For example, they are really extrovert. They are always happy, cheerful. They always like to, I don't know, to make friends. It's like they don't are afraid of meet new people. It's contrary to what is an introvert. So, do you think we have some advantages or disadvantages of being extrovert? If so, which ones? Do you see? ¿Ven alguna ventaja o desventaja de ser extrovertido? Any answer is correct. So, Carla Trigo, please.
I think the advantage is that you can communicate better with everyone,
Yes,
and also you make like more friends than an introvert person.
exactly. That's right. As we saw in the first class here, we also see that to be an introvert or to be an extrovert also has to be with what is mm, exclusiveness, no? Exclusividad. What does it mean? That you know many people, but you don't know exactly particular things of those people, or you know few people, but you know very well that person who are around you. Okay? So, questions. So, for people who are not participating here as well, Karen. Good morning, Karen. I have a question for you. Which can be the disadvantages of being an extrovert person, in this case, an extrovert person? Which can be? Do you think we have, I mean, people who are extrovert, they have something that is, I don't know, is not okay to be extrovert in all the time? What do you, what are, or which are your opinion, Karim? No, Karim?
Sí, sí, estoy aquí.
Okay, Karim. So,
A ver, ¿cómo puedo decir? ¿Puedo decirlo en español, por favor?
yes, yes, of course. Puedes decirlo en español, no te preocupes.
Bueno, considero que tiene sus pros y sus contras, lo uno y lo otro. Ambas partes, tener un poquito de ser extrovertido o introvertido siempre está bien. Considero que ser extrovertido te lleva también a tener, a ser más popular, a tener muchos amigos. Y por un lado, por otro lado también no ayuda mucho porque el hecho de que hablas mucho dice mucho de ti también, ¿no? Siempre a veces es bueno también callarse, escuchar a los demás y aprender también, ¿no? Por una parte, considero que un poco de cada uno es un término intermedio, es bueno.
Thank you so much for your opinion. And you said something really important, that we we need to have that balance into be extrovert and introvert. To know in which moment to be that extrovert or that introvert, right? Because there are some people, for example, don't like that other people talk about them. It's like, oh my God, you're talking again the same thing you say the last week, the last month, the last year. So it's sometimes annoying for other people. Okay, so you give a good point. That's okay. Thank you. All right, so here we are going to see as we are sometimes extroverts, sometimes introverts, we have different words because not all our persons who are around us is our friends, right? Is our I don't know coworkers. No, not only that. But we always refer to the person who know like a friend. But here we have new vocabulary who we can relate with different types of acquaintance. All right, we have in our social media is the way in which we interact with others. So here are kinds of friends. Why friends? Friends is a word used to say that you know that person, not too much, but you know that person and you're able to talk to this person. Okay? Then we have the best friend, that's all the kind of things. So let's see it. An acquaintance. An acquaintance. An acquaintance here is the first a person you know, but you don't know well this person. Que in Spanish we know like un conocido, conocida. Okay, we don't have a feminine, we don't have a masculine for this word, so it is used as a neutral, an acquaintance, an acquaintance. Okay, for example, here, Rand is an acquaintance from my company, but I'm getting to know him better, and I think we are becoming friends. So here it says that it's only an acquaintance, es un conocido. Un conocido, tú no sabes sus cosas específicas. You only know the name, only that. And maybe the relation, because I know it's an acquaintance from my work. It's an acquaintance from my university. You only know that person, but you don't know too much about that person. Okay? So that is an acquaintance. An acquaintance. A close friend. Let's see here. What is the difference of close friend and best friends? That there is a huge difference here. Okay? So, close friends, what is this? A friend you can talk about anything with, especially things you don't talk about with others. So here it says that a close friends is that friends in which you have enough confidence to talk even private information, in which you really, really trust in that person. This is a close friend. Close friends are used to be, I don't know, childhood friends because they're since they are child. So when you grow up, you are still maintaining that relationship. So a close friend. So let's see before we see in the examples. What is a best friend? Best friend. This is a common word. I'm pretty sure you already know what is a best friend. No, el mejor amigo. A person who is your close friend. Carla Rodrigo, please.
I think, well, some for other people think that the best friend is like your brother or sister, someone
Yes,
that really knows you and trusts you in every occasion.
yes. And sometimes it's in that aspect received for other people. So, which is the difference in here? A best friend is a person who is your close friend. Okay, so in that case, it's related. And yes, that's right, because a best friend is not something we consider like, I know you are in the same university and we have anything in common. Not like that. It's because you are confident with that person. You feel, I don't know, you don't feel fear, you don't feel scared, you don't feel shy with that person. You are enough confident. And that's right. We sometimes call it them like our brother, and even there is that expression, okay? Hello, bro, right? But actually, it's not your brother, literally. You don't share any blue link. So it's your brother because you consider a part of your family, okay? So that is the connection. A best friend is a person who is your closest friend. So, what is a close friend? It's a friend you can talk about anything with, especially things you don't talk about with others. Okay, so really important here. This is a compound words in the cases. Here, example, Mary has a lot of friends, but only two really close friends, Natalie and Kate. Even a close friend and a best friend is the ones in which you can be in your nature. What I mean, your nature, in which you can be you without any suspect, without any, I don't know, any mask. Okay? Because some introvert people are like, they are serious, they don't share own their personal information. But when they are with their close friend or best friend, sometimes it changes. Like, I don't know you, like you are here. No te conozco cómo estás ahora, okay? So will depend. This is a huge relationship we have with other person, okay? So before you say you have a close friend, you have to relate if this person is puedes hablar con él cualquier cosa, puedes hablar cosas especiales, puedes hablar acerca de otros con esa persona, porque confías en esa persona, ¿ok? A fair weather friend. Oh my gosh. What is a fair weather friend? And I'm pretty sure maybe most of you had that kind of friends, especially the ones who always did their own homework and that person asks to you, the only moment who talk to you is when you did your homework. And they talk, did you do your homework? Yes. Can you copy me? Yes. You copy and then you don't know nothing about that person. So a fair weather friend is a person who likes to be with you when things are going well. Things are going well. But it's not something positive. But who stays away when you have problems. So in this case, do you have any experience with a fair weather friend? As the most interest person. Carla Trigo, please, could you share your experience?
Yeah, in fact, in uh, elementary and high school, I used to have a lot of fairy weather friends.
Oh my gosh. Yes, I
They,
understand too.
yeah, they used to just ask me when they didn't understand something, but if in another situation they didn't even talk to me.
Yes, that's exactly. Or it's sometimes when maybe there is always that moment in which I don't know, you forget something, you didn't do your homework, but you think that they are going to help you. But how they are going to help you if they did not their homework almost all the time? So you cannot count with them, all right? Thank you, Carla. So in here, there is other person who would like to share if maybe they have a fair weather friend, the person who always are in the exact moment, in the positive moment, they talk to you really beautiful, shine on wines, etc. But at the end, when you need that help, they said, I'm sorry, I didn't do it, so they cannot help you. And they don't talk to you anymore. So anyone here? Alejandro, do you have any experience with a fair weather friend? You can say in Spanish, don't worry. Here, what is important is you have the information, okay? So, Alejandro Condori.
Yes, I'm here. I don't, I didn't have experience because um, I was afraid a quite tense or a close friend, um, but mm, never
Uh,
saw a fair weather friend or best friend. I never. I have a never.
okay, okay. So you didn't have any experience with a fair weather friend. Okay, so this is really common. So you have this vocabulary, and just in case you want to tell about your experiences, okay? Maybe you, yes, I have in high school a fair weather friend who always talk to me when this person wants my homework to copy my homework, but later on this person do not do not help me when I need it. Okay, so let's see the example. Kim is just a fair weather friend. I can't trust her to help me out when things are bad. She cannot trust. No puede confiar en ella. Okay? A soulmate. Let's see what is a soulmate. I'm pretty sure if nobody knows what is soul is, almas gemelas, a soulmate, almas gemelas. Of course, no dice aquí gemelas, ¿no? Pero es como tu compañero, pero en traducción semántica, almas gemelas. What is a soulmate? A special person such as a spouse, a boyfriend, or girlfriend. You have that kind of relationship. It can be referred like love, right? Who shares almost all your beliefs, values, and tastes, and who understands your every thought, sometimes even before you state it. Okay, this is really certain. Why is a soulmate? Because you only not share like I love you. No, because when you are with a person, you start understanding that person more closely. Okay, how this person acts, how this person does some things, how maybe this person, I don't know, this person like spicy, so how this person influenced to you to like spicy as well, in a positive ways, of course. Okay, so this is a soulmate. Soulmate. For example, here, of course, soulmate can say here spouse, boyfriend, or girlfriend. Okay, so it's more like in couples. In couples, we cannot say like soulmate and my friend. Of course, we always have to put in context the words or more detailed. If you want to say my best friend is my soulmate, consider that soulmate is more referring to couples, all right? So watch out with that. For example, here, he is my soulmate. Sometimes I don't even have to say what I'm thinking, and he already knows what I'm thinking. Okay? So it's to know that person so closely, not only to know their private life, because they also perceive what actions these persons do, which are, I don't know, his or her own routine, know what are their own beliefs. So it's more closely to live with a person. Okay, that's kind of soulmates. Social media friend. I'm pretty sure. I don't know now, but before we used to tell that people in Facebook who have more than 200 friends, you are very popular with for everyone. There was like a boom in that moment. Now that's nothing. That's nothing. A social media friend. What is? It's a person in your online social network who you don't often interact with face to face. Of course, it's that friends we make maybe, I don't know, you have in things in common. For example, I don't know, I like to see or I like to listen, I don't know, Taylor Swift. So in all the words, there are the Swifties. So you have a, I don't know, you found a group from Telegram, from WhatsApp, a Messenger, whatever of those social medias, and you make friends from other countries. But you don't meet like person, maybe photo, all right, but it's the person you meet on social media, in online social media or social network. Okay? For example, here, I have more than 500 social media friends. Some of them are my real friends, but there are some I don't even know. So here, do you have a social media friend? That friend who you don't know in person, but you know it because you are in contact with that person for any social media, like WhatsApp, Telegram, Facebook. Okay, but I'm talking about that friend who you are closely to. All right, like you talk about something in common. For example, I'm in a group in which we love drawing. So the common thing, not the dangerous one. That's not a social media friend. That's other thing. That's a stalker. Okay, so do you have a social media friend? Can be from another country, can be from Bolivia as well. But that friend in which you talk about things and you have that things and interest in common. So do you have any social media friend? No? No, that's why it's so dangerous sometimes. Okay, sometimes it's dangerous. So I think nobody. Okay, and then finally, a family friend. A family friend, what does it mean? Is a person you know because he or she is a friend of your parents or sibling. Okay? Is the friends of one of your family members, and you know that person because of them. For example, here, Blanche is a family friend. She is much older than I am, and even though she is not a relative, my sister and I always call her Aunt Blanche. Aunt Blanche. So here in family friend, do you have any family friends? How did you meet you? Do you have any experience? Carla, please.
Well, I think that a family friend it would be my mother best friend.
Mhm.
Uh, her name is Delia, and it's not like a family friend, but I know her and also my grandmother. So I think she's the closest family friend that I have.
Oh, okay. So it's someone who you meet. And can I ask you, where did you meet? Where did you meet that friend?
Uh,
That family friend? In a
I
party?
met her when I was a kid. I was like 6 years old, and she used to work in the same school that my mom work now.
Oh, okay. That's pretty good. Thank you so much. Betsabe Rivera, do you have a family friend?
Yes, maybe the college of my mother's college as well. Um, but she had many colleagues, and um, I met them in well, when I was a child as well, and um, some workers or family workers of my grandparents. Uh, that's I think.
Okay, thank you so much, Betsabe. So right, we tend to know new family friends since to our parents as well, okay? Mostly our parents. So this is the vocabulary, new vocabulary you have about kinds of friends, okay? So if you don't know, si no saben alguno de estos vocabularios, you can put it in your words that you will do it for the next, yes, for this week, okay? So, all right. So today we are going to see something really important for me. I always like to be more focused on grammar because grammar is explaining to you different things that are important. Okay? Vamos a hablar un poquito de gramática. I would like to talk to, quisiera saber en aquí si me entienden cuando hablo. ¿Por qué? Tengo entendido que es intermedio y algunos tal vez han empezado con el instituto desde básico. Si no me entienden, si hablo, no sé, no, no lo entendemos, está hablando en chino, es en inglés, ¿ya? Me dicen nomás. Puedo hablar, también sé hablar español, así que yo también les puedo explicar en español. Pero tienen que decirme que cayó otorga, ¿ya? Me dicen nomás. Me dicen, no sé, está hablando, no le entiendo. Me dicen nomás. Communication, okay? So, this is the topic, today's topic. Oh my gosh, I think le he puesto la fecha que hemos hecho la diapositiva. Give me a second, 16. Okay, perfect. So, today we are going to talk about present perfect and past simple, okay? Why is this important? Because it's not the same. Es lo mismo que en el español. Muchos piensan cuando hablamos en pasado, yo les digo, díganme cuál es el pasado del verbo comer. Otros me dicen comía, otros me dicen en comido. So in this case, it's almost the same. Present perfect has its own rules, its own moments to say. In these moments, you must use present perfect and past simple. So let's see. ¿Qué es lo que recuerdan acerca del simple past para todos, todas? ¿Qué es lo que recuerdan? Una característica mencionen, solo una. Carla Trigo.
I remember that if we are going to write in simple past, we every sentence has to be in the past, not in the present.
Excellent, that's right. Betsabe Rivera.
Present perfect have the word have and is in middle of present and past simple.
Exactly. Who else? Carlos Arturo, maybe. You're my victims now. Carlos Arturo, what do you remember about past simple? ¿Qué recuerdas del simple past cuando has avanzado este tiempo?
Mm, no sé si es ese, pero que termina en ed, ¿no? Los
Yes,
verbos. No sé si.
yes, yes. In which moments? ¿En qué momento terminaba con ed? Do you remember or not?
Cuando decías que yo hacía tal cosa en el pasado, o a qué se refiere.
Mhm. Yes. Okay. Thank you, Carlos. Dailin Gomez, what do you remember? Do you have any, I don't know, what is past simple? ¿Qué han avanzado? ¿Qué recuerdas del past simple?
That were the possibles that were things and already ended in the past, and they use ed in the finish that verb when it's a irregular verb. I think I don't
Okay.
remember.
Okay. In this case, regular. Okay. We are going to remember that. Cecilia, what do you remember about past simple? Any other doubt? You can tell me whatever.
I don't
No?
know. Todo lo que han dicho los demás.
Okay. So, someone remember what is did? In which moment we use did? No? Okay. So, we are going to see it. So today's topic is present perfect and past simple. So let's see, van a estar atentos, porque es lo mismo para cuando hablamos en español. I would like 3 volunteers, 3 voluntarios, voluntarias. One who reads paragraph number 1, 2, paragraph number 2, and paragraph number 3. So now I have my volunteers. Carla, number 1, Betsabe, number 2, Angelis Carlos, number 3. And the other ones, you're going to still help to me, okay? So let's start.
Okay, a new hobby. Anna has recently started a new hobby, painting. She has always loved art, but she has never painted before. Last month, she bought her first set of paints and brushes, and since then, she has created 3 beautiful paintings. Her family has already complimented her work several times.
Thank you.
Anna feels proud because she has managed to learn this skill all by herself. Although she hasn't taken any professional classes, she has learned a lot by watching videos online. Every evening, she spends time in her studio and her collection of paintings has grown.
Anna's best friend Sarah hasn't seen the paintings yet, so she's planning to visit soon. Anna has invited her over, and Sarah is excited. Anna is eager to hear Sarah's feedback because she has been working hard to improve her techniques. Painting has become an important part of Anna's life and she feels happier since she started.
Perfect. Thank you so much for my volunteers. So here we are going to talk about this new hobby. But as you can see, we have some words that are involved. What is bold? Negrilla. Okay. So these words in bold are in present perfect. Some of them are in simple past. I just wanted you to be focused on how it is structured. For example, Anna has recently started a new hobby painting until this sentence. Can we see or can we answer in this case? When? Do we have that information of when does Anna started or when Anna started a new hobby painting? Do we have that information?
Last month.
Mm-hmm. Okay, but in this sentence, only this sentence, Anna has
And
recently
then
started.
no.
No, we don't have any information.
Okay. So here, she has always loved art, but she has never painted before. Do we have here an exact time indicator in which when do we have until here?
No.
No, right? We don't have. Cecilia?
Mm, maybe when she has always is in present, but before es después, entonces ahí hay un tiempo de información.
Exactly. There is a time. Exactly. This is an indicator. Always is a adverb of frequency. Okay. And before is an indicator of time or preposition of time. But in this case, when we talk about she has never painted before. But when is before? Last year, last month, last week? That we refer. We don't have that exact time. But in this case, that is in simple present and simple past. I'm sorry. Last month, she bought her first set of paints and brushes. And since then, she has created 3 bills. Okay, in this case, last month. It actually gives us information, exactly information. Maybe this person is talking about, I know, in February. So when it says last month, in my mind, that comes, okay, last month, so this month is February, so last month is January. So we have with the simple past a, a specific time, a specific time. Here we also have time, but it's like before. Okay, so when is before? Last month, last week, or yesterday, or maybe I don't know, 3 years before. It doesn't mention. As in here, last month she bought. When did she buy her first set of paints and brushes? Last month. Last month. That's my answer. But here, she has created 3 beautiful paintings. In that short sentences or part of the whole sentence, when I say she has created 3 beautiful paintings, do I know when did she create 3 beautiful paintings? Do I have that information when? Question for everyone.
No.
No.
Exactly, we don't have, right? So there we go. In which moment, let's remember. I suppose it's like a review. Espero que sea como un review. Si alguien no ha entendido el Simple Past, si no se acuerda del Simple Past, tengo mis diapositivas del Simple Past y si quieren las voy a pasar. No hay problema, ¿ya? Pero siempre veanlo que ese Simple Past es solo material extra. No se va a llevar en el portafolio. Tal vez solo esta partecita ya, ¿ya? What is the past simple or simple past, whichever? In this case, we use simple past to talk about past, finished action or states. Actions that finish in a timeline that is past are finished. Second one, to describe an action that occurred at a specific time in the past. Is very specific when we use the past simple. For example, here we have some past time expression, only past time expressions. I can say yesterday, yesterday morning, yesterday afternoon, yesterday evening, last night, last week, 2 days ago, 3 days ago, etc., 5 years ago. So here we have these time expressions that are very specific when we are going to use the simple past. We don't have to take it for granted, no lo tenemos que mm, dar por hecho que, ya, entonces es eso nada más. We have other uses. For example, here, Carla called me last night. Here we are committed with the ed in regular verbs. ¿Qué es un verbo regular? Regular. Is that verb that do not change its forms. No cambia su forma. I mean, when I'm going to, I don't know, to have different variation of a word or a verb in this case. For example, the verb work. Work in simple past. Work it. In past participle. Work it. How also I know that this verb is an regular. It's, in this case, its root, la raíz de la palabra, do not change. Do not change. And I only can also do it with working, ing, or verb, okay? So, look at this. The root of the word do not change. It maintains. That is a regular verb. And now, we also have different irregular. We are going to see it later on, okay? For example, here, Daniel didn't go to work, in which I use the auxiliary verb, mi verbo auxiliar did, in negative and questions. Only those two. Solo uso el did para dos cositas como auxiliar, no como verbo neto. Did para pregunta, didn't o did not para introducción negativa. Y obviamente mantengo mi base, my principal verb, okay? Daniel didn't go to work yesterday, a specific time. Joseph lived in Japan for years, varios años, okay? So here, this is the past simple. I hope you remember what exactly it is. So, give me a second. Also, we don't use only for, okay, so the only thing that will be an indicator for us that will be passing time expressions, no. Not only these words. We can also use the past simple with adverbs of expressions of frequency. Often, always, every day, seldom, etc. To talk about what? Habits or repeated actions that happen in the past but don't happen in the present. Okay? Past simple is also used when we are going to talk action that maybe we did in childhood, or maybe we did when we were young or high school, if it is the case. Okay? So we only mention that, but those actions now are not continued. So, que ahora no se continúen. It's the same as in Spanish. We use, in this case, adverbs of expression of frequency. Often, always, every day, seldom, sometimes, never, etc. For example, here, when I was a child, I ate sweets every day. When I was a child, I ate sweets every day. That means that now this person do not eat sweets every day because it's an adult one. And when you are an adult, some things, some habits disappears. In this case, in school, I always play football during break time. But if it's a now, maybe now I'm not in school. I don't have a break time. The break time, I provide my break time. So I don't play football. That's life, okay? So we use also past simple with this adverbs of expression of frequency. When we are talking what? Habits or repeated actions that happened in the past. Okay? Now, to have more clear idea, this is our timeline. Esta es nuestra línea de tiempo. Les voy a dar una tareita donde ustedes van a hacer todas las líneas de tiempo de todas las estructuras gramaticales. Yo les voy a dar el documento, solo van a tener que copiar. Pero tienen que tener en cuenta eso. Esa hojita, valórenla mucho, péguense si quieren en la pared y obviamente lo pueden poner en portafolio también. Las líneas del tiempo nos ayudan a entender cómo las acciones van pasando y les va a ayudar a ustedes también a entender. Una línea del tiempo va a ver el ejemplo, pero ustedes lo van a cambiar a su necesidad, ¿ya? ¿Qué digo necesidad? Por ejemplo, en mi caso yo me llamo Linda, entonces yo puedo decir, Linda bought a, ya no he comprado un nuevo auto, entonces puedo decir, Linda bought a new book. No era la anterior semana, era ayer, entonces puedo cambiar, ¿ok? Y cuando hagan todas sus líneas, ahí sí te lo, yo les voy a poner el formato. Va a tener un cuadradito. En el cuadradito van a chequear lo que ustedes ya dominan. Vamos a empezar desde el present simple, ¿ya? Simple present, perdón. Es que en dos libros diferentes del británico y en el americano, en el británico te dice simple past, en el americano past simple. Ok, y ahí sí te lo voy a poner un cuadradito. Ustedes lo van a tiquear con rojo los que ustedes ya dominen, ¿ya? Y bueno, van a tener ahí todas las categorías gramaticales para que cuando necesiten van a usar las estructuras. So, this is the timeline in which everything happened. We have our past, now what is the present, and the future. So, when occurs past simple here? Look at this. There is any arrow, no hay ninguna flecha, nothing that say that the action is continue or that the action now is happening. No. He bought a new car last week. The action has been completed here. It's finished, the action. The action is there. He bought a new car last week. Last week, here, he bought it. Nothing else. It doesn't have any affection in the future. It doesn't continue. It doesn't repeated action. It only finished here in the past, nothing else. This is the most simple, past simple, because the action is completed in the past, nothing more, okay? So in past simple, we have talked about, all right, you have talked about with your previous teacher, what is a regular verb and what is an irregular verb. This is just a reminder. Regular verbs are those verbs who do not change the root word. Root word es la raíz de la palabra, all right? Root word. So, in this case, with this root word, I have different ways to add ed or the, depending of the word. Sometimes there are some rules that I have to duplicate some consonants because of the rules, like in the word stopped, in which I need to duplicate the last consonant. Or sometimes in which the Y I need to change in I, like tried. It will depend on the rules as well. Or sometimes in which I only add D and not ED. I'm pretty sure you already know. We put D in words that end with E. We put ED in words that end in a consonant. We duplicate the word with words that have the relative consonant, vowel, consonant. We change the triad in words that there are two consonants and a Y. Okay? And this other play, enjoy, we don't change the Y. Why? Why? Because here we have consonant, vowel, consonant. In comparison to stop is different. Try. That we have consonant. So there is not that relation. Okay. Anyways, I will send you, if you don't remember how to convert different regular verbs, yes, a summary or maybe my presentations of the this topic. Okay, so irregular verb. What is an irregular verb? It's a verb that change its own root word, cambia la raíz in different ways. But this is not the whole case for irregular verbs. No es el único caso. We have the base form, simple past, and past participle. Base form are all of these that we use in simple present. Have, could, be, write, read. Two exceptions to be and have that in simple present does change, no? For example, for have in third person, for she or he or it, we use has, is different. Or for be, we use is, right? So it will depend on the conjunctions. Simple past, had, could is also changed. In this case, I will provide you a list, a mnemotechnic list, in which you can memorize all of these verbs. How? We have groups of each verbs, groups that the base form and the simple past and past participle change, but they both are the same. Or other ones like this, could, do not change. No pronunciation and no the grammatic way do not change. It's the same. Could. Or in this case, be, was, were, been. Or well, verb to be. That is very irregular according to the grammatical person. Write, wrote, written. There are a group of verbs that maintain this rhythm. Okay, write, wrote, written. Other verbs that we write the same. Read, read, read. But what did change here in comparison to could? The pronunciation. Base form, read. Simple past, read. Past participle, read. So these are the regular verbs because sometimes it change, do not change, and maintain. We cannot include, we cannot put couldn't. No, do not change. We maintain it. Or in read. When we write, there is no problem. But when you pronounce, if you don't see it, read for simple past, I cannot understand you. Maybe you are telling me in simple present. Okay, so be careful. Here is my list. Here is the list I provide to my students, and sometimes it works. And here is the click. Cuando van a tener en este caso las diapositivas, no se olviden, van a hacer clic y directamente les va a enviar a mi drive. Y aquí tienen, este es de una doctora neurolingüista de la HANI, y en este caso ha creado esta lista con las memotecnias. Why? Because since we are child, we used to tend to learn different things in the rhythm, ¿no? Por ejemplo, cuando decimos, no sé, tal cosita es naranja, ¿no? Hay un ritmo repetitivo. Y en este caso tenemos todos los grupos asignados, ¿no? En este caso, los 9 grupos de los verbos irregulares. If you want, you can print it. Pueden imprimirlo. If you want, you can copy. Pueden copiarlo. Esto no es necesario, digamos, no tengo que copiar la mano. Pueden imprimirlo. Les ayuda. Algo que les aconsejo es que subrayen las palabras y los verbos que ya ustedes saben de memoria, porque ahí van a saber cuáles les faltan. All right, we have group number 1, ring, rang, rong, sing, sang, song, etc. So they know each verb is different. We have different groups for each verbs. Look at this. All of these verbs until here, all of these verbs share the same structure, at least the same structure. Bend, sent, lent, spent, built. Then simple past and past participle we pronounce with T. Bent, sent, lent, spent, built. Okay, so hope this list is workful for you. Espero que sea muy productivo esta listita. Okay, so if you need any past participle, you can go for this. Les voy a poner también otra listita donde tengo todos los verbos, pero no están en este orden, esto es para estudiar, que tiene su traducción en español. Así que aquí abajito lo voy a poner también, que tiene la traducción de español, just in case, si lo necesitan. ¿Ok? So, let's talk about present perfect. Vamos a avanzar esta partecita hasta la línea del tiempo. De ahí van a tener su descansito para que vayan a tomar agüita. No se agobien mucho con present perfect. Y luego después vamos a retornar con una pequeña práctica. ¿Ya? O bueno, vamos a ver las estructuras en oraciones reales. Okay, so what is the present perfect? Perfect. Perfect, we used to talk about actions that took place at an indefinite or unspecific time in the past. Remember in the lecture, in the reading we did when we started this topic? Por eso les preguntaba, en aquí tengo la información de cuándo, en aquí me dice específicamente cuándo. We don't have that information because that is one characteristic of present perfect. We don't mention a specific time. Why? Can be for different aspects. One, we don't know the exactly time or we don't remember. Two, it doesn't matter to mention. In some sentences, what really matters is the action. And three, can be in this case because it's not relevant in the sentence. Actions that occurred at some time in the past, exactly when it's not important. ¿Ok? En una oración tenemos nuestras estructuras como esta información es importante, importante. ¿Y por qué esto es importante saber para ustedes? Cuando ustedes vayan a universidades extranjeras, van a ver que la mayoría usa lo que es resaltar. Casi yo no veo a muchos usando sus cuadernos como yo. Ya, yo tengo cuaderno para todo. Para un resumen de tal, tengo cuaderno. Pero allá ellos no suelen usar mucho. Ellos usan en cualquier libro, subrayan bien, pero no subrayan todo. Palabras claves. So, to know in a sentence which are the important words, not only help us, ok, o sea, no nos ayuda el presente perfecto, listo. No, les ayuda a ustedes a captar más rápido la estructura, la información, cuando estén lidiando con un examen en el 12 de Reading Comprehension, ¿ya? Lo que conocemos scanning, skimming, etc. ¿Ok? So, this is the present perfect, exactly when it's not important. There are some information in the sentence that is not relevant, not important. But why we put it that? Because it connected and give us more semantic weight. There is a relation. For example, here, Miley and Christelle have met at Carla's cafe many times. It doesn't mention when, only says many times. They've had lunch and eaten lots of great food. In this sentence, what really matters to me is the actions. Lo que me importa en esta oración es dónde ha conocido. Eso está bien. ¿Dónde ha conocido? Miley, y Cristel se han conocido en el café de Carla, ¿no? Muchos ya, está bien. Ellos, ellos han comido en ahí, han almorzado varias veces. Buenas comidas. Eso es lo que me importa. No me importa aquí, no es relevante el tiempo. All right? So, this is the present perfect. Present perfect we use for other things as well. For something that started in the past and continues in the present, of course. For example, here, she has lived in California all her life. They've been married for nearly 50 years. So, we also use present perfect for this. Things that started and continues in the present. What other things? When we are talking about our experience up to the present. I've seen that film before. I play the guitar ever since I was a teenager. So in this case are experiences that happen like a routine, okay, in the past. So let's see here. Here is the first. An action in the past, no time indicated. It's kind of like a simple present, but in this case, here is the action and it doesn't matter the time. I don't need to know the exact time, if yesterday, no, it doesn't matter. The action. Joseph has changed his car. Only that, no time indicated. I don't need, I don't know, Joseph has changed his car yesterday. No. If it is in that case, we only say Joseph changed his car yesterday. We don't need a has. We use has when we do not indicate time expressions. ¿Ok? Cuando no vamos a usar estos tiempos. This one. Repeated actions in the past, often with quantity words. Some actions that are repeated in the past. For example, Betsabe, yo usando sus nombres de ustedes. Betsabe has moved house 4 times in her life. Also, in these sentences, it doesn't mention when does she move house. Doesn't mention because it doesn't matter. Here, what really matters is that Betsabe has moved house 4 times in her life. Nothing else. Okay? So, this is all the way of present perfect. And the last one, duration from past to now. Okay, in this case, it's important to mention that are actions that happen here and they are still continue now in the present. For example, Jennifer and Cecilia have worked here since 2020, okay? So this is the present perfect. So be careful with this example or with this rule. If we mention a duration from past to now, we have to be careful what we are mentioning. Because if I say, here is since 2020, so in this case doesn't mention which month, which day, which week, ¿ok? Solo nos dice desde ese año hasta ahora. No nos menciona exactamente tal fecha se termina la acción, listo. Right? So this is the action that permanent until the present. So be careful with these 3 ones, okay? These 3 ones is really important. And okay, until here. Carlo has finished his homework. So in this case, this is the structure you must follow. Tienen que seguir, okay? Subject, it can be a subject or subject pronoun. Subject, que es nuestro sujeto. Uno propio, por ejemplo, no sé, Carlos, Betsabe, ¿quiénes más tengo aquí? Abraham, Alejandro, Ángeles, Carla, etc. It's a subject. Subject pronoun. I, you, he, she, we, they. It can be it, if it is a thing, if it is an animal, it, or referring to things. Has, my auxiliary verb, have, I use in the present simple. ¿Ya? Mi verbo auxiliar, en este caso, en el present perfect, tiene que estar en el presente simple. No, no en pasado. Esto no tiene que estar en pasado. Si lo convierten en pasado, vamos a estar refiriéndonos a otro tiempo gramatical que no nos corresponde ahora. ¿Ok? So, to have in present simple, depending on what? On the subject pronoun. For I, you, they, we. What do we use? ¿Qué usamos? Has or have? Question for everyone.
Has or have.
Have. So for he, for she, and for it,
Has.
what do we use?
Has.
Exactly.
Has.
Perfect. Don't forget. This is only in simple present or present simple, okay? This is only in this kind of structure. Be careful with this. No van a cambiarme el tiempo en el has. Jamás, ¿ya? Cuando hablamos del present perfect. Si lo cambian nuevamente, remito. van a crear, o no van a crear, pero van a cumplir con otra estructura que no nos compete en este tema. ¿Ya? Cuando hagas las líneas del tiempo van a entender tal vez y van a ver qué estructura estoy refiriendo. ¿Ya? And the last one, plus my main verb. ¿Qué es el main verb, principal verb? Es el verbo que tiene la acción. ¿Cómo podemos diferenciar? Carlos has finished. En has finished, todo esto es un verbo compuesto. Pero ¿por qué decimos que este es nuestro verbo principal? Porque tiene el significado completo. Si yo digo en aquí, no sé, ¿cuál es el significado? Has, el significado que es tener, finish, terminar. Pero en esta oración, ¿cuál está siendo más relevante? ¿Tener o terminar? Ah, ya, terminar. So, has is only an auxiliary verb. ¿Por qué necesitamos un verbo auxiliar en aquí? Porque cuando convirtamos esto en negativo o cuando queramos hacer alguna pregunta, esto tiene que salir como respaldo para esos dos tipos de estructuras. ¿Ya? Of course, it will depend which verb we will use in this case. It can be the regular verb plus ed, or the irregular verbs that Lisa will provide. Okay? And then we have the complement. You can write it down whatever complement it is, but watch out. In the complement, you do not have to write time expressions. Okay? Which time expressions to be more clear? Time expressions, in this case, these ones. Yesterday, yesterday morning, last night, last week, 2 days ago, 5 years ago. Be careful, okay? Because the time expression express in which moment that action has finished. But in this case, when we say 2020, it's not an expression like it finished there. It says since, and the next class we are going to, or yes, next class we are going to learn what is since, okay? Porque eso nos indica de un lado o de un tiempo hasta la actualidad se sigue permaneciendo esa acción. No es una acción terminada, sigue manteniéndose hasta el presente. Eso tengan muy en cuenta. No se van a confundir. Many students tend, even in the TOEFL, tend to confuse in this case. ¿Ok? De todas maneras, les voy a mandar escaneado del 12 lo que nos dice acerca del presente perfecto. ¿Ya? So, yeah, until here. Okay, so let's have a break. Do you want a break? No digo quieren romperse. Quiero decir, ¿quieren descansar?
Yes, please.
Okay, see, it's too much information. All right, so let's have 10-minute break. Vayan a tomar agüita, si no han desayunado, vayan a desayunar. Pueden estar comiendo, no hay problema. Yo no les voy a decir, ¿estás comiendo? No, no les voy a decir nada más. Okay, so let's have 10 minutes of break. We will return in 10 minutes. I will put here my timer. Where is my timer? Okay, so break is over. All right. The turn, turn on your cameras, please. Mingle, I'm checking something. Okay, so break is over.
The teacher.
All right. What are you thinking? 177. Okay, so here is I was searching my book of the 12, and here I have something I would like to show you before we practice, okay? Give me a second. I will, oh my gosh. Give me a second.